What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Off the Couch Boxing. I'm your host, Rexx Ruger. That, of course, right back there is the Alexis Arguello puppet. This is, of course, Off the Couch Boxing, the home of the most amazing and real boxing conversations anywhere on planet Earth. You guys know how we get down. Legends, luminaries, world champions, and fighters on the come up. All coming here to chop it up with your boy, Rexx Ruger. And today is no different. At the time of this recording, it is Friday, May 23rd. Before my guest gets in here, let me do my promotional thing. Because as you know, if you have a podcast, you got to pimp it. That's the only way to get ahead, folks, because everybody's got one nowadays. So here I go. Here's my spiel. Make sure to like and follow Off the Couch Boxing on Facebook. And, of course, make sure to like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell to stay tapped in. This is where you really need to be, where it all goes down. But I also invite you to check out the Facebook page. There you'll get updates on new episodes, when they're dropping, who will be on those episodes, and any other big boxing news. If it's popping off in the fight game, I will put it up there, man. Keep you guys in the loop, whether it's big fight announcements, fight results, breakdowns, analysis, predictions, viral videos, whatever is going on. If it's happening in the fight game and it's newsworthy, I will stick it up there, keep you guys in the loop. My guest is here, so let's get down to it and chop it up with him. Here we go with another amazing conversation. I'm excited. You're excited. He was just popping in here, and now I don't see him, but I will, of course, confer with him here, and that won't be edited out. You know where I stand on editing. It doesn't happen here. It's all raw, real, and unfiltered, and plus I'm 52 years old. I just won't be bothered. We leave it all in for posterity's sake, because someday we're all going to look back on this, and we don't want to know that we were cheating. We don't want to know that we were dishonest with the people. I can't have it. I can't have it on my conscience. I just can't have it. So it all stays in here. Technical difficulties, technical issues, little hiccups, we leave them all in. I think it adds character to the show also. There might be people out there doing their little slick tricks, their editing, their little things bouncing across the screen, little intros, animation, yada. Not us. We get right down to the brass tacks. We're about to do that right now. My guest is here, so let's go. Devin,
how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. It's a pleasure to meet you and to have you here, man.
I appreciate you having me, man.
Absolutely, man. I'm glad we finally got a chance to do this, man. Listen, man, first of all, man, I want to ask you, man, because this is a thing that gets debated a lot amongst guests that I have on here, man. Currently 28 years old, man. As an athlete, man, where do you stand on that in terms of like your prime? So much has always been made about an athlete's prime in the past. It was always equated to being a young man, but now we see guys in the fight game, man, older, but still kicking a lot of ass, though, man. They figured out a lot up here, too, man. Where do you stand on your prime?
I feel like I'm just now hitting my prime.
Yeah.
28 years old. I feel like my body's finally starting, just like you said, to develop physically and mentally.
Yeah.
And I can feel it. You know, you can feel the difference. You know, it's all about an experience in the process and just learning.
Yeah. How early did you get a pair of boxing gloves on, man? How did the journey start for you?
8 years old, man. 8 years old. About seven and a half years old. My dad took me to a gym. And really, the rest is history, man. And I had my first fight when I was 8 years old.
And so your father was into it, but like how about your mom? Like, was there anybody that wanted to stand in the way? A lot of times I know that dads are very gung-ho about it all, and moms are not so psyched about their young ones getting punched in the face for a living.
Yeah, my mom wasn't excited about it, but my dad had a few amateur fights himself. Wasn't nothing crazy, but he had a few amateur fights himself. He boxed a little bit. My grandpa boxed a little bit, so it's kind of embedded in the family, man.
And did you have any idols when you were growing up? You know how, like, when you're watching it, you kind of have those guys that you look up to, that you want to emulate? We kind of all have those sports heroes.
Yes, sir. Roy Jones Jr., man. The hometown hero, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a beast, man. He was fun to watch, man. Very fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm glad more people have come on here recently and thrown his name out there, man.
Yes,
It warms my heart to hear Roy getting his flowers, man. You know,
yeah, man,
I think people forget he was that dude all through the 90s.
Oh man, he was probably the baddest dude to put on a set of boxing gloves in my eyes.
Yeah, yeah. And so what about current favorite fighters? Who are some guys that you like watching that are doing it right now? I know potentially a lot of them could be opponents. You know, I don't know how much you can get into like you know, really looking at them from a fan standpoint, but you must admire what some of the guys are doing today.
100%. I'm a big Terrence Crawford fan.
Yeah,
I love Bud. Tyson Fury is one of my favorite fighters. Just because of his mental. I love Usyk as well. It's gonna be interesting. I'm a big Manny Pacquiao fan, man. It's gonna be interesting to see him come back. I don't really not really too happy about him coming back at 46 years old, but it's gonna be interesting to see.
I know it's kind of confusing because he's coming back, but yet I'm going to go up to the Boxing Hall of Fame next month. I live very close to there, and he's going in the Hall of Fame, but yet still fighting. It seems like quite a conundrum. You know what I mean? Like how he still gets to keep fighting, but go in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, man, he definitely deserves it. 8 division world champion. You might not ever see that again.
What is it about him like him fighting that is a concern to you? Just the age?
Just the age. I just think when you get older, man, I feel like boxing is a young man's sport.
Yeah.
Where you gotta have gotta be real twitchy. You're and you just gotta be. It's not an old man's game, man. You know.
No.
So it's a young man's game. It's very high pace, and 46 years old, man. That's old.
Yeah.
He hasn't fought in how long? It's been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah, it has been a while. And I know he's been focusing on a lot of political stuff over in the Philippines. And, you know what I mean? Like, he's getting his grind on, like, doing stuff, like, for his country and everything like that. But
and Mario Barrios is not an easy competitor. So
no.
It's going to be fun to watch, man. It's going to be fun to watch. Manny's always fun to watch.
Always. Yeah. And so I'll circle back to the boxing in a minute, man. But a couple things that I picked up on you, you know, just from preparing my notes, man. Into dog breeding as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm a big. I'm into Frenchies and I'm into bullies. I've been breeding them. I've been breeding them for about 5-6 years. And yeah, man, it's one of my hobbies. It's what I do. I do that for a living.
Now, when you say bullies, what do you mean bullies? Like, are you talking pit bulls?
It's kind of like a pit bull. People ask this all the time. It's kind of like a pit bull and I would say like an English bulldog mixed. Have you ever seen the exotic bullies?
No.
They're kind of like down to they're like down. They don't come no higher than your ankles.
But they're probably strong little shits, right?
Try to turn this around here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Hey, boy.
He's too cute. Oh, that's too cute.
Here's my Frenchies. So, yeah, man, this is my kids.
And so you can make a solid living out of doing this.
Oh man, yeah. These dogs go for high money, man. They go for high money. He come out of California, so there's a lot of dog breeders. Texas, California, and Florida. A lot of big dog breeders in our states, man. So
also, I think hot weather, man. You were in the state of Florida. I have a theory because I've done 2 podcasts. I also do like a music one where it just so happens I had to happen to have a lot of guys in rock bands and heavy metal bands. I equate the hot weather into people being good at doing violent things. It makes sense that boxers would come out of Florida. A lot of serial killers too.
Yeah, man. I seen a post the other day, and it's very true. It says the Florida summer heat, it'll get you pissed off for no reason.
Yeah,
that's true. That's
Texas,
true.
California, all of them, man. All 3 of those, man. The states with the highest rate of serial killers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, there's nobody on the prowl right now that we got to worry about down in Florida, though, right? I think we got them all either behind bars or dead currently, right?
Yes,
dead
sir.
or behind bars.
Yes, sir.
That's the way we got to keep it.
Yes, sir. You're right about that, buddy.
and so for you, well, first of all, congratulations. You just won a fight beginning of this month, right?
Yes, sir. I fought March. Was that March 7th?
7th. Yep.
Yeah, I fought March 7th, and I fought May 3rd.
Yep.
May 3rd.
So we did two. We did two back to back. I'm looking to have a real busy year, man, and I'm looking to be back in the middle of August. Looking to
When you say a busy year, man, what does that mean in terms of activity? Now you've gotten 2 fights in here, man. Like those are your only 2 fights of 2025 so far. Those 2, or you
yes,
had some? Yeah. So how many more would you like to have in 2025?
Yes, sir. So I've only had 2 fights this year. I'm looking to at the least get at least 2 more in by the end of the
Okay.
year.
Okay.
If not, maybe trying to squeeze 3 more in.
And so currently you're in the lightweight division. You're sitting at 17-0, 13 knockouts.
Yes, sir.
So when do you feel like you segue into moving towards bigger fights and possibly the world title stage?
Well, man, I'm 17-0. I feel like a few more victories. I'm right at the door. You know what I mean? I feel like a few more victories is going to secure me that spot, and we'll get into negotiations with some big. I feel like some big opportunities are going to come across the table.
Yeah.
And we're going to be looking to take full advantage of them, man.
135 is always a hot division too.
It's very hot right now. You got everybody, man. You got Gervonta Davis, Shakur Stevenson, Floyd Schofield. I mean, the list can go on and on and on. It's probably the hottest division in boxing right now. Very exciting, man.
And now you seem like such a nice, gregarious, affable guy, man. I'm wondering, man, like when you get into the sport, man, or in the build up to a fight, are you somebody that engages in trash talk, and does it ever get personal for you, or do you just look at it as business? Have people gotten under your skin, even without naming any names? Like, or are you somebody that stays pretty unflappable?
Man, I really don't get into the trash talk. I like trash talking. I feel like it's a part of the game, a part
Definitely.
of the business, a part of the business. You try and everybody wants to hear that. Everybody wants to see it. And it gets people hyped up for a fight. But do I let it get to my emotions or anything? I don't try. I don't try to, because I know at the end of the day, it's a sport. We're trying to compete. We're trying to compete, and we're trying to outdo each other.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. And that's all I'm going out there to do is compete. I'm trying to be the best at what I do.
Yeah.
And that's what I focus on mainly.
Yeah. And
it's just being a fierce competitor.
And so what led you to, into the boxing gym, man? Like, were you a kid that was getting in a lot of scraps? I mean, like, how did you realize that, like, you had this, like, ability to throw hands? I mean, did you find it out when you got to the gym, or did you kind of already know?
Yeah, my dad just, my dad had a few amateur fights, man. Probably a few street fights, and there's this guy named Larry Downs in Pensacola, and my dad is a roofer as well. He's on a roof. Him and his father, my grandpa, have owned a roofing company for about 50 years. It's generational, and my dad and grandpa was actually doing Larry Downs's roof at his house, which he had a gym at.
Okay.
And the rest is history, man. He just brought me to the gym, and I wouldn't say I was an elite boxer when I first got to a boxing gym, but
yeah,
they could I had some skills and some something to work with,
Yeah.
And the rest is history, man. I just kept fighting, just kept doing it.
And were you athletic in nature? Like, i.e., were you into like other sports, or was boxing really the one you gravitated towards?
I played football. I played baseball all my life. I've kind of juggled with football and baseball and boxing until I got to high school, about 13 years old. And my dad told me, we need to take something serious and go for it. And I've always loved boxing, man. I've always loved how boxing is it's just you. It's all on you. Everything's on you. You know, the work outside the gym, the work inside the gym. And it's a very demanding sport. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of discipline, and it wants a lot from you. And I love boxing. I've always been around it since I was younger. So yeah, man. I just, like you said, I just gravitated towards it.
Did you have an extensive amateur career? What was your amateur career like?
Yeah, I had almost 70 amateur fights.
Okay.
Nothing crazy, not 200-300 amateur fights, but I had about 70 amateur fights. And yeah, man, I went I think my amateur record is like 65-5 in
That's
my
pretty
book.
damn good.
Something,
That's
yeah,
pretty
something
damn
like that.
good.
And
Yeah.
one of my last fights when I fought in Anaheim, California this past year on the Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz card.
Yep.
That was one of my losses in the amateurs. So so I got that back. I've gotten a few of those victories back.
Okay.
But yeah, man, it's been a hell of a journey so far. I'm enjoying the process, and I'm looking forward to some big things happening in the future in the next year.
So at 17-0, man, like you really are on the doorstep, man. You really are poised, because we do see guys nowadays. I mean, I'm 52 years old, so I remember when you kind of had to have a pretty good resume and really, really earn a title shot. Now we're seeing, and I always use, because I've had him on here before, Keyshawn Davis as an example. 13 fights in, already got the WBO belt. So you don't see guys have to like labor as long in their career now to get those shots. So you really are at 17-0, like really on the doorstep, I would think.
Yeah, I feel like I'm on the doorstep, man. I feel like a few more victories, 2, 3, 4 more victories, man. I feel like some big opportunities are
Yeah.
gonna present itself on the table, and I'm gonna be fully prepared to take full advantage of them.
And for people that aren't familiar with your style, man, like, how would you describe yourself? Because when you look at your record at first glance, 17-0, 13 knockouts, most people would probably be quick to put the label on you that this guy's a knockout artist. You know what I mean? Is that fair, or do you pride yourself on being, boxer puncher, technical boxer? You know what I mean? Like, what would be for people that haven't seen you do what you do?
I'm not. I don't look at myself or feel like I am just a knockout artist. I feel like I'm a technician. I can do it all. I can hit hard if I got to hit hard. I can hit hard. I got power behind my shots, and very fast and elusive. I'm Pensacola bred, so
Yeah.
you know what's coming behind me, man.
Yeah.
I've been trained by Roy Jones Sr. since I was yay high, so
Yeah.
I know all the tricks too. So it's just a matter of time when it's all going to present itself, and when the tricks can, when I'm going to use the tricks. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got to use different things for people. You get to see different things every fight from a fighter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I got that Roy style, man. I got that Roy style. It's what I've grown up around. So
you have like trained with him then?
I have not trained with Roy. No, I trained with his father.
Okay.
With his father. His father was my coach from 10 years old until probably a year or two ago.
And so obviously you're learning all the same tricks that Roy Sr. probably taught to Roy Jr. too.
Yes, sir.
A lot of those same tricks anyway. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so your assessment of your own division, obviously I said Keyshawn has a belt. Currently Loma holds the IBF. We're not really sure what's going to go on with him. Murataya has the interim. Shakur has the WBC, with Zepeda as the interim, and then Tank, of course, has the WBA. What's your opinion of those guys who hold the belts? And take them in any order. Keyshawn, for example.
I think Keyshawn is the best. I think Keyshawn is the best fighter. I think he's showing it right now. I'm interested to see him and Edwin De Los Santos fight.
Yep.
I'm interested to see that fight, because I know the kid is gonna come and look to bang and look to land a shot on Keyshawn.
Yeah.
So I feel like Keyshawn's gonna have to box a little bit more before he gets to that shot. You know what I mean? Before he can land his shot, he's gonna have to box a little bit. So I'm interested to see that fight, but I do think Keyshawn Davis is the best one out of all of them. Shakur Stevenson, I think he's done. I think his hand shot.
Okay.
People don't realize, man, a broken hand is one thing.
Yeah.
But tearing a ligament in your hand, or what do they call it, babe? What he do in his hand? I think he tore a ligament in his thumb, didn't he? And that's worse than breaking
almost
your hand.
worse than a break. Yeah.
In a lot of ways. It's worse. It's worse than a break, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's always gonna have problems with his hands. I don't think he can hit anyway. I think he hits like a girl.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you go. Well, there you go. That sounds like a roundabout call out right there.
I don't think he can hit it all. I think he hits like a straight girl.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think he's gonna have any pop to keep nobody off of him. To keep any respect, to keep anybody off of him. Somebody like Gervonta Davis ain't gonna respect his pop. He'll be on him all night.
And so his next matchup is going to be against William Zepeda. Do you think he'll have a tough time in that fight?
No. William Zepeda was William Zepeda.
Yeah.
He's just a straightforward workhorse.
Okay, so you think Shakur could get past that fight?
Shakur Stevenson is going to make William Zepeda look like a D plus fighter.
Okay, so you're saying when Shakur gets into the really cracks the upper echelon at 135, that's where we're going to see him really run out of steam.
When Shakur Stevenson gets into a real fight, you're going to see what Shakur Stevenson is about.
Okay.
Shakur Stevenson ain't been in no real fight.
Okay.
I'm just saying I feel like Shakur Stevenson has cat hair in his shit. That's what I mean.
Okay, fair enough. And now what about Tank? Because a lot was made about Tank. First of all, before we get to your assessment of Tank, man, how did you see the Tank Lamont Roach fight back in March shaking out?
I thought Lamont pulled it off.
I did too.
I thought Lamont pulled it off. I think it was a well-deserved victory that was taken from him. And I didn't think Tank looked good at all. And I think that last performance is going to have a lot going into this next fight, mentally for Tank.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be a lot on him mentally. So we'll see, man. I'm excited about that one too.
Obviously, very confusing, man. Like if you're in the opposite corner and you see a guy take a knee, as we saw Tank take in round 9, you're thinking knockdown, correct?
100%.
I mean, we got that wrong, right? The sport got that wrong. It did.
100%.
Yeah.
Multiple people have said too. You know, I can't remember what year this was. I was a little boy, but I remember when Floyd was fighting and he hurt his hand. Remember when he took a knee?
Yep.
You know, they counted him.
Yeah.
You know, just from taking a knee off hurting his hand. So,
I actually had Carlos on here. That was against Carlos Hernandez. I had Carlos on here, and he does have the distinction of being a guy with a knockdown against Floyd.
Yeah, man. I don't, and I didn't get it either when the ref started counting for Gervonta, and then stopped counting.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So that kind of confused me a little bit.
And you think though, do you think now, like when you say Tank didn't look like himself, do you feel like maybe he's lost like a little bit of the passion for the sport? You've obviously got to have passion, and a lot of other guys have come under that scrutiny as well. I don't always agree with everything Tim Bradley says, but I do like the fact that recently he said, even when Ryan Garcia's last fight, that big Times Square card that really turned out to be awfully boring. But, I'm not here to criticize the fights or whatever, but some of those guys look like they are going through the motions. There were people that even said these guys are just fighting for a paycheck. They don't really care about their legacy and and the mark they leave on the sport. You have to be approaching it with some type of passion.
Yes, sir.
You know?
Yeah, yes, you do, man. I've never made that type of money. So, I mean, I guess making $50+ million, I want to say it might not change anybody, but I'm pretty positive it does change people. So.
Sure. Yeah, it does.
So, like I said, I've never made that type of money, man. But 50, 100 million, man, that's a lot of money. And if I made that type of money, I don't think I'd be boxing either, or taking much serious.
Right. Now, where do you stand on? Because you strike me in just a couple minutes that we've been talking as a guy who has a very throwback old school mentality, man. Like, where do you stand on like a guy like Jake Paul? You know what I mean? Like, are you into these type of events when they are on? And do you look at him now, as he's trying to live like a fighter, train like a fighter, convince the general public that he is a fighter? Has he done enough? Do you look at him and say, hey, there's a guy that's a boxer now? Or has he not earned that?
It's like I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
It's like I'm in the middle, but you gotta at the end of the day, you have to respect what the guy's done for boxing. He's put a lot of eyes in boxing.
Yeah.
He's put a lot of eyes on boxing, and he's a very smart guy. And boxing is an easy sport. It doesn't matter how you're doing it, what level you're doing it at. It's not an easy sport.
Right.
So you got to respect him for what he's done. like I said, he's put a lot of eyes on the sport. He's brought a lot of money to the sport. He's doing good things for women's boxing as well.
Definitely.
And I respect everything the guy's doing. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah. And he is bringing, and you're right, the most important thing is he is bringing eyes to a sport that sometimes, gets maligned, gets a bad reputation. I mean,
Yes,
it's not always up there with the upper echelon, like the baseballs and the NFLs and the
Yes,
NBAs. I mean, so every little bit does help.
Yes, sir, it does.
And I think a lot of the animosity also comes with guys. I think you hit on something right there, man. Those big paydays. There'll be guys grinding from 6, 7, 8 years old. You know what I mean? Who dream of those kind of paydays. And I think a lot of the rub is people seeing him coming in off of being a social media sensation and coming into the sport and only having a couple years under his belt and getting those big paydays.
Yeah, man. He knows how to work it.
Yeah, he does.
He's got a big following, man. The guy's very smart. He's very smart and very business savvy, man. So, again, I have all the credit in the world to him.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, man, but in my digging around to come up with topics to talk to you about, I did not discover a Devin Cushing boxing nickname. Am I wrong on this?
Yeah, I don't have a nickname really, man. I just kind of people ask me what is my nickname, and I just I'm just gonna let it come to me. You know what I mean? Somebody will give me one day. You know what I mean? And it'll stick. You know?
Okay. So you are not closed off to the idea of a nickname. The right one just hasn't come along yet.
Yeah, nah. Just people call me Devo, man. You know?
Okay.
That's my nickname. You know, but other than a fight nickname, I don't really have one, and I've never had one. And like I said, it's just something I really kind of wanted to stick when it happens, you know.
Right.
Somebody just give me, you know.
Yeah. So we're almost to the halfway point of 2025. From a fan standpoint, so far this year, have there been any fights that you've watched that you've particularly enjoyed that have stood out to you? And the second part of that, are there any maybe on the calendar for the rest of the year that you're particularly looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to the Crawford and the Canelo fight.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to see how Bud does up there in that weight. I think he can beat Canelo easy. I think it's going to be a unanimous decision by Terrence Crawford.
Yeah.
I think he's just going to box and outpoint Canelo.
Yeah.
And
he convinced me after that one-sided ass whooping of Spence. You know what I mean? Like, I really was a big Spence guy. I love both guys, man, but just to see Bud go in there and fight in his non-dominant stance, fight southpaw, and just really put a beating on him like that, man. Yeah, I mean, I'll never bet against Bud after seeing that.
I'm a big Terrence Crawford fan, and I knew Terrence Crawford would win that fight against Errol Spence.
I did too. Yeah.
But even myself, he surprised me.
Yeah, I didn't think that easily.
The way he did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was unreal. It was unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal performance. Unreal.
And so you do give him obviously a great chance of beating Canelo then.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I like I said, I don't really see him hurting. Canelo's got a great chin, man.
One of the best.
One of the best chins.
Yeah.
I don't really see him. That's the thing about Terrence Crawford too, though. He has a killer instinct.
Yes.
When Terrence Crawford knows he's got you hurt or in a situation, he's gonna try to get you out of there.
I've had Bomac on a couple times, and I believe I've had Bomac on a couple times, and I believe Bomac says, "Man, quote, man, he's got that dog in him.
He's got that dog in him. When he sniffs you out and you're hurt, he's gonna try to come and get you.
Yeah.
He's not gonna let you survive. He's gonna try to come and get you out of there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just feel like Canelo is gonna be too big for him to get into a firefight with. I just feel like he's just gonna outpoint Canelo, outclass him. He's gonna be fat. He's gonna be faster. He's gonna have better footwork. And watching Canelo, he fought the same night I fought. Watching the fight against William Skull, I feel like his legs are shot.
Yeah.
Once a fighter's legs are gone, career is over. It's gone. It's over.
Yeah. Now, where would you put Bud? If Bud pulls this off and becomes undisputed in 3 weight classes?
Greatest fighter of our generation.
Oh, he becomes the GOAT. He becomes the GOAT. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. He surpasses what other people have done, even for instance, a Floyd Mayweather.
Hall of Fame, 100% a Hall of Fame career. And yeah, I mean, the way he did it, the way he's done it, I don't know. It's opinion based, man. You know, it's really opinion based. You know,
Yeah.
but easily a Hall of Fame career if he beats Canelo Alvarez.
And now, where do you stand? I mean, you know, because this is obviously something that you have a stake in, being a 135 pounder yourself, man. Do you think we will ever see the great Vasily Lomachenko again? He's obviously still holding the IBF title. You know, I don't want to say hostage because I know he does have a certain amount of time to actually fight or whatever, man. But I mean, do you think we see him again?
I hope so, man. I hope so.
I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan.
I'm a huge fan of Loma too. I love Loma. I love his style. I love his footwork. I love everything about Loma, and I hope he does come back. Feel like Loma's kind of racing against time too right now. You know, against age. You know, yeah, I'd be excited to see. There's a lot of big fights for Loma if he come back to fight. There's huge fights for him to make.
Yeah.
I think they're going to try to make him and Raymond Morataya if he does come back.
Yeah.
And that'll be an interesting fight. I think he could beat Raymond Morataya. I feel like he's got the style to beat Raymond Morataya. So
now Raymond Morataya is an interesting cat because you know, obviously there's guys who have belts right now, but then there's guys that are on the precipice of being kind of getting that push in the 135-pound division. Murataya being one of those guys. Now I had Keyshawn Davis on here, man, and he said, "quote Murataya is at best a C-level fighter." Would you agree with that assessment?
I was gonna say the same thing. I didn't. I mean, I watched him the other week. I really didn't see too much. You know, nothing too special about the kid at all. In his last few fights, I haven't seen nothing too special about the kid. So, I know he's got some pop. He's a good fighter. He's up there he's up there for a reason. But he's getting into the position now where he's about to start fighting the champion. So
yeah,
I guess we'll find out. We'll find out.
And so for you, your last couple of fights, 6 and 8 rounders, are you ready to make that leap now to like 10 rounders? Do you feel like that's right around the corner?
Yes, sir. Right around the corner. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
And so
I'm excited about that, man. I'm excited.
So 2026 sounds like realistically when you would like to be aligning yourself for big mega fights, i.e. possibly even title fights.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And just keep climbing the mountain, man, climbing those ranks and you know, trying to get to where I'm going, you know.
Yeah. Get that Josh Padley payday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, obviously, though, I mean, you just said your piece about Shakur Stevenson. Oddly enough, we did see Josh Padley step in back in February in that Saudi Arabia card on short notice, man. What's too short a notice to take a fight on, man? What would feel too short for you?
I wouldn't. I mean, I'm not big on the short notice fights. I don't like them too much.
It's a risk.
But I understand. Yeah, it's a risk, and I understand you got to take risks sometimes. I wouldn't be taking a week notice fight. You know.
Yeah. That's short.
What was the Josh Padley fight? Wasn't it like 3 days or something?
Yeah, the guy was just doing an electrician job on Tuesday.
And I understand, man. When opportunities come up, you know, it's probably a once in a life opportunity.
Yeah.
It never come up again. You know, why not? Why not? You know, the guy didn't lose nothing. You know,
no.
You know, he had everything to gain. He's gonna get a few more good paydays out of him fighting Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't like that though. I don't like it. I don't.
Now, from a fighter standpoint, man, explain the mindset to me. I just want to pick your brain on this now because just to go back to the Terrence Crawford Canelo fight, man. Obviously, another fight that boxing fans have wanted to see for a long time is Canelo and Benavidez. Wouldn't you think that the bigger risk / embarrassment for Canelo would be to lose to Bud Crawford if he beats? It's just like he said before the fight was made. It's a lose-lose for Canelo. I mean, now we're seeing the fight made, but initially his response was no, because if I beat him, I beat a pumped-up welterweight, and if I lose to him, I've just been beaten by a pumped-up welterweight. You would think, well, all the detractors saying that he's ducking Benavidez, that would be the guy that he'd want to beat and shut people up. Does it feel like a blatant duck?
I think he's ducking. I think he's ducking David Benavidez. I think the guys he's a big guy for the weight.
Yeah.
And he's definitely got the age on Canelo as well.
Yeah.
And Canelo's got age playing against him. So I think it's a sticky situation for Canelo, man. I guess we'll just have to wait back and see. Hopefully he does. I mean, maybe he'll give us the fight before he retires.
What does life after boxing look like for Devin when you do hang the gloves up? Do you feel like you'll be one of these guys that will keep a foot in the sport, i.e. maybe promoting, matchmaking, being a trainer yourself? Or do you feel like when your fighting days are over, you'll make a clean break and you'll do something else?
I think both. I think
Yeah.
I'll go on about my ways and adventure off into other things in life. But I feel like I'd always have that foot in the boxing though,
Yeah.
Whether it's, maybe commentating one day.
Yeah.
That's a big dream of mine. And like you said, man, just always being around the sport, watching fights, something,
Yeah.
it'll always have my heart. I've done it for too long. I've done it all my life. So
have you given a lot of thought to, I've even had guys on here who are calculated right down to knowing how many fights that they want to be done at or what age they want to be done at? Or are you just playing it by ear? Like, if you thought specifically like, okay, at this, I'm not fighting past this age, or I don't want to have more than X amount of professional fights, or is it just kind of like, playing it by ear?
yeah, I just play it by ear, man. And I've had those thoughts, and I've had thoughts of I've had a number set in my head,
Yeah.
set in my head that,
Yeah.
I tell myself a age in my head also that I tell myself that I like to be comfortable and, be able to walk away.
Not getting punched anymore.
Yeah, man.
Past
Be
this
able to
age.
be able to walk away with my brain.
Yeah, that's
And
big.
be able to talk and, and still live my life, be here for my kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So yes, sir.
What do your kids think about you fighting? Do you have girls, boys?
I have one little girl, man. She'll be 5 in November.
And what does she think about dad getting punched in the face for a living, man? Will she attend a fight? Will she watch anything? Do you keep her away from it?
She's been to a few when she was younger. She's been to a few. Probably don't remember too much.
Yeah.
My last one she didn't come to. We kept her home.
Yeah.
She knows dad fights, so she don't. I would say she don't know what to think about it.
Yeah.
She don't know what to think about it. She gets excited. She gets very excited, and she likes it. She knows she knows it's a sport. I try to explain to her. I know she don't realize right now, but I try to explain to her that it's just a sport, and her dad's just competing.
Right.
Just trying to win.
Yeah. I gotta say though, man, as a father and now a grandfather myself, man, a lot of potential boyfriends are gonna have problems when they roll up to the Cushing household.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I can't imagine that's going to be an easy knock at the door.
Oh man, yeah, it's not going to be easy knock.
I know how protective I am of my daughters and my granddaughters.
Oh yeah, I'm not looking forward to that day, Rexx.
But listen, Devin, man, I'm glad I got a chance to run you down, man. I really enjoyed chopping it up with you, man. But now that we're in touch, man, please stay in touch. I'd love to have you back on again. Next time you got a fight lined up, man, let's get on here and do it again.
Let's do it, Rexx. Please, brother.
Yeah,
please.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, a lot of fun, man. Really, I love talking to you, man. I feel like if I didn't end this, we could just go on chopping it up all goddamn day.
Yes, we could. Yes, we could.
Yeah, I appreciate it, though, Devin.
I really just talking to you. I forgot I'm on an interview.
Well, those are the best interviews, man. That's how I like to keep my podcast, just free form all over the board with it, jumping around, just keeping it conversational, man.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you felt that too, man. So
yes, sir.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. We'll do this again for sure, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir, we will. Thank you, Rexx.
Good talking to you, buddy. Thank you,
brother.
Yep, later. And there he goes, folks. Devin Cushing, current 135-pound rising star, 17-0, 13 knockouts, right on the doorstep of huge things to come. Pensacola, Florida, stand the fuck up, man. A great young fighter right there, man. Great young man. Really enjoyed that conversation, man. A lot of insights, a lot of stuff to say. Did not hold back, did not pull any punches, no pun intended. Love to hear his analysis of current stuff going on in the boxing world. Certainly was at no shortage of things to say about Shakur Stevenson. I sense a little, maybe a potential fight. But really appreciate a guy that's that candid and will give his honest opinion. Thinks very highly of Keyshawn Davis, the best at 135 pounds. agrees with Keyshawn's assessment of Raymond Murataya being a C-level fighter. Certainly did not pull any punches on his assessment of the Bud Crawford Canelo fight, and just boxing in general. Love to have those kind of guys on that just pull no punches, tell it like it is, and again, at the end of it, says it just felt like he was on here chopping up with somebody. That right there is the epitome of what I like to do here on Off the Couch Boxing. Even have you forget that you're in an interview and you're just chopping it up with your boy Reckless Rexx. That's all it is here, man. We're not reinventing the wheel. We're just conversating. People forgotten, I think, that concept in life. You know, it's the age of technology. It's the age of people with their noses in their phones. We got to get back to just good old-fashioned conversation. Of course, you're watching these conversations on social media, but, you know, hey. That being said, I appreciate you guys tuning in. And again, a big thank you to Devin Cushing. Again, 17-0, 13 knockouts. Keep an eye out for him doing big things and getting ready to do even bigger things in the 135-pound division, a red-hot division, probably the best, if not one of the best, in all of boxing. Again, make sure to like and follow Off the Couch Boxing on Facebook, and also make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay tapped in. We are, of course, the home of the most amazing and real boxing conversations anywhere on planet Earth. That's what makes us the undisputed, undefeated heavyweight champion of boxing podcast. And the good news is you, too, can be a champion. All you got to do, it's very simple, folks. Continue to stay tapped in to Off the Couch Boxing and continue to roll with the champs. Peace.